Hello everyone, my name is Hendardi Efendi,
My name is Nadya Putri.
My name is Phoebe Callista.
and today we're going to present about through the eyes of whistleblower of how Sherry Han spoke about the Citibank's mortgage fraud. In 2011, Sherry Han was a vice president and chief underwriter at Citi Mortgage headquarters in the U.S. For years, she had been witnessing fraud as the company bought $billions in mortgage loans from external lenders that did not meet Citi credit policy and sold them to the government-sponsored enterprise, which called GSA. This resulted Citi selling to GSAs such as Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, both of loans that were considerably defective and thus likely to be default.
Citi had also approved hundreds of millions of dollars worth of defective mortgage files for U.S. Federal Housing Administration insurance. After reporting the mortgage defects in regular reports, notifying and working closely with her direct supervisor to stop the purchase of defective loans.
Leaving anonymous tips on the FBI's and the Department of Housing and Urban Development's websites, and receiving threats from two of her superiors who demanded that she change the results of her quality control unit's reports. The shy and conflict-avoidant Hunt had to decide who she should tell about the fraud and how. The case gives students the opportunity to recommend how Hunt should proceed based on their analysis of the stakeholders involved.
Citibank is a giant bank company that was founded on June 16, 1812 as the Citibank of New York in the United States. This bank operates under Citigroup, which is the largest bank by asset in the US after Bank of America and JP Morgan Chase. Apart from standard banking transactions, Citibank offers insurance, credit card, and investment products. In 2004, real estate lending, or REL Group, was performed, which bought Citi consumer lending activities. REL comprised the following subsidiaries: Citi Mortgage, Prime Mortgage Lending, Citi Financial Mortgage, Subprime Mortgage Lending, and Citi Home Equity. Citibank provides various services like invest, loans, mortgage, credit card, banking, and insurance. Citi Mortgage is a unit of Citigroup that offers a lot of mortgage and home equity products to the consumers. Citi Mortgage offers a range of mortgage options and home buyer loans, including 4 options. First one is conventional fixed rate and adjustable mortgage. Second one is Federal Housing Administration of FHA and Veterans of It fixed rate loans and jumbo fixed rate loans. Third one is home run mortgage that requiring little as 3% down on a single family home loan of up to $510,000 and $400,000 with no mortgage insurance required. And the fourth one is the home equity lending and home equity credit lines, or called HELOCs. Correspondent channel were channeled through which should purchase mortgage from external mortgage company and sold the mortgage to government-sponsored enterprise, or called GSA, like Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Two distinct underwriting flow for processing loans that we purchase from is underwriting flow and diligent flow. So, underwriting flow is the Citi underwriter to review each mortgage file before Citi agreed to purchase it from a correspondent lender. In this flow, Citi had not delegated the responsibility to the correspondent lenders to underwrite the mortgage themselves because they had not met the certain criteria. And the delegated flow is the Citi underwriters underwrote only a small sample of mortgage file, in essence spot checking the quality of mortgage flow after a large volume of mortgage had already been purchased from the correspondent lenders. In this flow, Citi had fully delegated the responsibility to the correspondent lenders to underwrite mortgage. Only prime mortgages were processed in these flows. After a homeowner has borrowed money to buy a home, the original lender likely to result that loan to Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac. The GSA in turn collected some of those mortgages in a pool which was sold in the form of mortgage-backed securities, or called MBS, to private investors, for which the GSA collected a fee in exchange for guarantee payment on the MBS. Other mortgages purchased by the GSA are held directly by the GSA for its own investment portfolio. The GSA obtained the funds for these investments primarily with money borrowed directly from private investors, which instruments are referred to as agency debt. The total volume of mortgage either held outright by the GSA or packaged and resold by them as mortgage-backed securities, or MBS, has tripled over the last decade, currently standing at around $4.7 trillion. That's about the size of the total publicly held debt of the U.S. Treasury.
So next is flow of the event. So we're going deeper to the cases. First, I want to introduce the main people in here. There are Sherry Han, she is a vice president and chief underwriter of Citi Mortgage, and Richard Bowen, Ariel's business chief underwriter for Correspondent Channel. He's a new upper management from Citi Financial, and he was an experience in mortgage underwriting. The main issue here is company bought $1 billion in mortgage loan from external lenders that did not meet Citi credit policy and sold them to GSE. This resulted in Citi selling to GSE, such as Freddie Mac pools of loans that were defective and thus likely to default. And the second one is Citi had also approved hundreds of millions of dollars worth of defective mortgage files for U.S. Federal Housing Administration insurance. How they discovered the fraud? First, in 2006, Hunt reported problematic mortgage defect rate. In ensuring that loans meet Citi standard, her team gave Citi seals of approvals investors, which is the documentations indicated that the borrowers were likely to repay the mortgage. So this responsibility is further strengthened by the FHA, which is part of the largest mortgage insurance company. Unlike Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, FHA did not have a quality control for double-checking the sample of mortgage they guarantee for defects. So it's delegated all of the quality control to the lenders, which is Citibank. Hunt team found all kinds of defects in the loans that Citi purchased from correspondent lenders, like missing signature, or some did not achieve the minimum requirement, and found out that the borrower cannot pay back. Since we know that Bowen is new and inexperienced in mortgage, he thought it is critical to familiarize himself with Ariel's. So he visited team across the country, which is Hunt team in Texas, and in short, both of them don't know each other business. And in learning curve, he's discovered the uncover problems. So the frontline employees tell Bowen one thing, their bosses, Connie, was telling them something completely different. And Bowen suspected that Connie was being dishonest, and Hunt had informed him that often when she tells Connie the loan is bad, and Connie would overrule her. So Bowen dug deeper and found the quality assurance underwriters whom Connie was dubious. In 2006, result of QA reported is 95% agree and 5% disagree. Bowen discovered that the total agree and agree contingent decision was being reported as agree rate. Over half of 95% agree rate comprise agree contingents files that were missing require documents. The QA result should be 40% agree, 55% agree contingents, and 5% disagree. Here we can see the overall flow of the event. But of the event we've talked about is take place in 2006. And next is in 2006 until 2008, Bowen and Hunt tried to decrease the defect rate and report the issue internally within RELs. And the result is the defect rate hovering between 60 and 80%. In 2008, Bowen was stripped of his underwriting responsibilities, and the number of people he managed was reduced from 220 people to 2 people. And in 2008, Bowen testified, and in 2009, Bowen left city. The next event is in November 2008, when Hunt discovered 1,000 loans that had been flagged by her team for not just defects but fraud, and had been escalated to City Mortgage Fraud Prevention and Investigation Group. The question from cases is how Hunt should proceed based on our analysis of stakeholders involved. We think that the best action for Sherry Hunt is, first of all, gather all the relevant facts and figures pertaining to all mortgage loans which did not meet city credit policy for the past few years, and try to find out why these loans become defective. So Sherry Hunt should investigate all facts with all ramifications, prepare a detailed report detailing the sequencing of events that were leading to the creations of bad loans that were being sold to GSE. The best option available to her is to submit this report to the top management and then wait for his response.
And as for the scholarly resources, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac was an important role on mortgages loan in the US. Because of them, the people in the US can buy houses during the 2008 crisis. The reason is Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac provided the 30 years of fixed-rate mortgages, low monthly payment, and stable interest rate, supported by the article. To acquire those benefits, homeowners need to borrow money from the bank. This means that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac needs bank as lenders as a third party of the transaction. Then Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac buy those mortgages from the bank and package them into securities. After that, they sell those securities to the investors. This process benefits the banks because banks can make more loans to more people. And one of those banks that got the benefits is City Mortgage. City Mortgage committed a fraud on the underwriting process. This activity will affect the supply and demand of mortgages. Because the process of underwriting for borrowing mortgage is defective, this makes people on the US easy to propose mortgage loan. And this makes the demand of people buying house with mortgages is shifting to the right. So because of this, the credit supply of City Mortgage also shifts to the right, supported by the article. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac as a duopoly company on the second market of mortgages, supported by the article David Rees. They also developed lines of businesses which allowed them to dominate the confirming mortgage market to the exclusion of all competitors. As a result, they grew extraordinarily large. In conclusion, by overlooking this case, the company of GSE should have their own underwriting team to analyze the form of mortgage loan from the lender companies. This solution will prevent and reduce the GSE companies to experience fraud and defective form from the lender companies. Also, companies that does fraud should be banned from the mortgage market.